Alright, hey guys, so well, I was gonna get a new mic, but the mic that came in is, I guess, a piece of crap. Anyway, but got a new tripod, or tripod mount for the phone, so hopefully it gets better. So right now we're gonna go over the Dewalt DW718. So this is just gonna be a pros and cons. The pros of this thing is, well, the cons of the first, I'm guessing it's the first generation of this saw, is on the blade guard here. It comes with these plastic, this would be the slide that is on this side, and they've beefed up not only this part, this is like just a piece of, I want to say about 16th inch or 3/32 stamp steel, and they had some plastic retainers. This would have gone in on this side and it would have bolted through, and so this one broke off. The flange on this one broke off, and this one's stripped out, so I can just pull this screw out just like that. Like, should be able to do that. So that's on both of the saws I had in. This is the first one I went over that got welded because it got bashed up against something. So this whole chassis right here for the motor just popped right off. But both of them had the same problem. The other one was completely missing the guard. This one needed a new bushing. Now, when you order the new ones from Dewalt or the Dewalt OEM parts, you will now get a tap screw and a full steel bushing instead of these old school plastic ones. And also, they, instead of being also what's nice is this is a round hole here. With the new metal ones, now you can use a 10mm key, hex key, and hold it from this side as you tighten in the other side. That way it helps you tap in. I use a impact since it is a metal piece. If it was plastic, I would not be using impact. So that was one con of the first gen, but now it's $7 for a new flange piece, and it's metal now. The other bit is this right here. It makes no sense to have this. It barely does any effort. Like, I don't know why. Like, it works, but it's just, they could have made it better, I guess you could say. They could have made it a little bit tighter. I don't know what they were trying to save on that part. I mean, it functions, so I mean, I guess that. Other part I don't like is this right here. So to push down, you lock it, where others you just let it sit there and you push down to unlock it. And then to move it, you have to push the secondary button that's in here to move it, and then that will allow you to rotate it. The good thing about this that I like about this motor instead of others is, so with the DW718, it comes with a belt drive system, so that way you're not stalling out your motor or like jolting your motor by accident. So if you had like a where's my other saw? I don't see it. My other saw has it directly mounted to the blade, which is all right, but you gotta be more careful with it. It won't last as long as a belt-driven one. With a belt-driven one, if it's all set up correctly, you use it and you screw it up, the belts don't slip out or fray or break. You just put a new belt on it and you're good to go. With the older ones, you screw up 10, 20 times in its lifetime, you don't break the motor. You don't burn out the motor or chip a magnet or something because of that jolt, or start ruining bearings and everything. With these, they're less likely to ruin bearings. Your main thing is just the belt. The belts are super cheap. They're probably I think they're like $10 a belt. And hopefully you don't break a belt, because at that point you need to learn how to use a miter saw. These DeWalt blades, this is an old used one. Ow. I just sharpened this one. So it's an older blade, but they're still pretty good. This one's hurting my hands because I keep on touching the teeth on it. But we went ahead and put a new one on this one. This one's going on to the other one that we have in the shop. Another thing, I love the trigger on this. It's very positive trigger, like click is very positive. The other thing I do not like is the wall retainer pins. So they're not a very nice thread. I guess they're too fine of a thread. And on this one, it broke and I had to re-tap it. So I re-tapped it. I think I did an M10 by 1.5 is what I re-tapped it as. And it's a really nice thread for this particular application. I really like the thread on this one. And so that worked out really well. But the walls are really nice and high. I think they're almost 6 inches. They're like 5.5, 5 3/4 tall. But the main thing that is nice on the new generation, or the reproduction ones, they want fit parts they fixed. I think all new Dewalt saws come with this as well. Is this plate here, this guard. This guard now has a full. Here, let me turn that off. Make sure not to touch my hands. This guard now has a fully cast aluminum plate here that comes in on the inside, and then you have about an 1/8 inch stamped steel. So a little bit of an upgrade from this old one. And then you also get a solid steel bushing here. You still have to, don't forget, you still have to have this sleeve right here, this little plastic sleeve that goes on it. You just can take this sleeve off of your old one and put it on the new one. This didn't come off this saw. The other one already had one installed on it, so I didn't need to put it on there. And these are fairly simple lineup. If you're taking this apart, there's a spring that goes right here. All you gotta do is line up the spring with that little hole. There's a spring on, there's a hole on this plate, and it just goes together, and then you just stick it on there and screw it together. So I'm not even gonna go over on a video on how to do that, because you just put the spring on there and you screw it on there. It does the rest of it for you. The other thing, I do not like the lock on this. Let's see if I can get it. Nope. Let's see. Where up my pliers? Set them right here, I thought. There you are. Right where I set them. I just cleaned off the table right quick, so everything's just kind of just sitting on the ground, so that I could do this video. Let's see if I can get it on there. There you go. So one thing I really don't like is this little locking knob. So all this is, and yes, I'm gonna unscrew it just for y'all because this is ridiculous. I mean, once it's in there, it's not ridiculous, but getting it in and out to do greasing or anything on this one side. It's just a really long screw, and what this does, it seats up against this rod here and prevents it from sliding, and it does a really good job. You only need a tiny bit of pressure. I have no idea why I had that much pressure on it, don't ask me. And it's just a pain. Like, I don't know why they made it so tiny, but I guess if you're gonna lock it, you're gonna lock it and leave it. If you're not gonna lock it, you're just gonna leave it there. So right now I'm locking it since I'm transporting it. Your grease plates, so what you can do is you can slide this back and grease this here, and you can take this off and grease it there. These are ceramic bearings, or yeah, bearings, not bushings, bearings, and they have wipers on them and everything. They do fantastic. You might in the lifetime of the saw have to do it once or twice. They're pretty well sealed unless something happens to the bearings, like for some reason metal shavings got in there for years and years and you were constantly doing it. Then you might have to replace the rods and the bearings. I mean, at that point you might as well get a new saw. The other thing I do not like about, let's set this back up, that I do not like about this model is the degree measurement guide. I do not like this double miter. Like somehow they have come up with the idea that this is 0 degrees. That makes no sense to me. Like my other compound miter saw does not have this. Doesn't have it. Makes no sense. Like, and then like it does good on 45, I think. Let me see. Let me get my square. Is that 45? Like, this makes no sense to me at all. So, and this is the back of the plate. So you have this one's saying it's 45 to here. And I've double checked this, and I'm just triple checking briefly right quick. That like, there's no, this is not a 45. This is like I'm gonna say about a 25, 30 degree angle. And for some reason they got it listed as a 45 on the 45 degree angle on here. I do not understand that at all. It's like this whole plate's been cockeyed this way, like complete, like rotated, chopped off and rotated. I mean, the measuring system does not make any sense. The owner likes it. All more to him. I have never seen a saw with this measuring system on it, ever. It makes no sense to me. Why in the world you would have a saw with this measuring system? It makes no sense to me. I mean, that one's my other chop saw over there. I think it's an old Ryobi. I do not like that thing, but it functions. It functions as a saw. I'm planning on getting a new one at some point. But that one has an easy to read degree plate on it. It's a double miter with bold stamped letters. I mean numbers on it and marks on it. And it has the same thing but in a different orientation. The little clips to let you know when you're in your certain spots. Now, like on this one, here's your 90 degree mark, and it's listed as a 20. Oh, yeah, it's listed as a 21 degree mark. Where this comes into 21 degrees, I have no clue. If someone knows, please leave a comment down below. It makes no sense to me. The only real thing I like about this is the shroud and that it's belt driven. The plate, the cast base here, I mean, I guess when this saw was new, it was really nice to have, but now pretty much everyone's doing cast aluminum. Unless you're buying a super cheap saw. If you're buying a saw in this price range, you're getting a cast plate 99% of the time. The other thing is the maintenance on this thing is super nice, except for the blade maintenance. If you need to change out the blade, you gotta lift this up. There's a little screw right there. You lift it up, and then you can use a 1/2 inch wrench to unbolt your blade. So I do not like that. Like, if they would have raised it a 1/2 inch, you could have done the whole thing without taking the shroud partially off. The other nice thing is when you get this thing all worn down, the motor all worn down, and you need a new brush. This is the halfway new brush. It's old, but it's not as bad as the other brush that was on this one. This one came off the other saw. All you gotta do is take I think it's a T20 or yeah, it's a T20 star bit or Torx bit. Sorry, my bad, Torx bit. And you just take out these two screws. This slides right off. You take these out. You put the new ones in. Make sure you don't hit them. There's another video and link in the description below. And you just slide them in, and it works perfectly. I haven't had one problem with this. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, whatever designer or engineer decided to put a freaking 5/8 inch Arbor on a 12-inch miter saw, or a 12-inch saw blade. So 12-inch saw blades, they come with a 1-inch Arbor. So here, let me get the adapter right quick. Where did I put that? There it is. So, Dewalt decided to put a 5/8 inch Arbor on 12-inch miter saw. I do not know why they put a 5/8. I guess in some miraculous place, if they don't sell a 1-inch Arbor saw blade, then you can use a 5/8 inch. But other than that, I mean, pretty much everywhere you can find a 1-inch Arbor saw blade. It's a new standard. Like, it's becoming a new standard anyways. All you need, but you have to go out and you have to buy these bushings. Now for the older saws, I have these bushings because I've not adapted. What is it? I guess you could say I upgraded to a 12-inch saw versus a 10-inch saw, so now I can use 12-inch blades, and I have to use these adapters. That's the reason I have them. But I don't know where the stupidity for Dewalt came in that you put a 5/8 inch Arbor on a 12-inch chop saw or miter saw. Where they came up with putting a 5/8, I have no idea, but you have to have, yours will already come with one most likely. If you haven't done anything to it, it will already come with one. Or if it has a blade on it, it will come with one unless it's 5/8 inch blade. But 12-inch saw blades with a 5/8 inch Arbor are very uncommon. You can especially order them, but it's completely pointless when you can buy, instead of going and spend $50, $60, $100 on a saw blade, you can spend $7, $8. I have a different kind that on my other saw I like more than this Dewalt one here. But this is $7, $8. You can get a shim. Actually, I think the single packs are $5. This is a double pack, and I used one of them. And you just put that in the center here, and you bolt it on there. It's good to go. Some people have said that's extremely dangerous. That makes no sense why it's dangerous. This is a flat piece of metal being sandwiched on a flat piece of metal. It's a tight fit, so you might have to kind of get the angle just right because it won't go in there at a slight angle. You have to have that thing flat against the blade for it to drop in there, or have a lot of coaxing into it. But I do not understand the stupid engineer or designer that decided to put a 5/8 inch Arbor on 12-inch chop saw, miter saw. Makes no sense to me, but hey, all you got, at least when they send you the chop saw, you do get one of these with the saw. Still stupid, but anyways, that's gonna be everything. So the pros, the motor is a good setup because if you break the belt, you buy a new belt. If you break the belt constantly, you need to look at your motor. The bolts on the motor, make sure nothing's screwed up where you have the right tension on it. Has nice tension on the motor, very easy to adjust. New models of the blade guard, fantastic. I had to retap because they broke off because they were shitty bolts on the back walls here, the back plates. Only one though. That one didn't break off. That one wasn't seized up. This is almost completely pointless. This is almost completely pointless. They need to rethink that. This is the older models also. They probably already did that. And that's everything, y'all. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me what's been going, what I did wrong in this video, what you would like to see more of. It's still new to me. And go check out my other videos in the description below. I'll leave a couple links in there. And y'all have a good one. Have a good one.